Kim Duke, you know what I love?
What?
Tacos.
Me too.
You know what else I love?
What?
Queso.
Okay, so
You know where we can find both of those things in plenty?
where?
At Los Ortiz's in Becker, Minnesota. Family-owned business, hardworking individuals, and now they have outdoor seating. You can go out on the patio during the pandy and get your fill of authentic Mexican food right here in Becker, Minnesota, off Highway 10 on Bank Street, right behind the bank.
Hey, Chris Duke.
Hey, Kim Duke.
You know what I love?
What's that?
Tattoos.
Oh, I love tattoos. You know where I get my tattoos done?
Not by a scratcher.
Not by those freaky frackin' scratchers. I get mine done by the professionals at Modified Tattoo and Piercing in Becker, Minnesota. Guys, you can go to modifytattoo.com right now and schedule an appointment with one of their 3 professionals to get your forever tattoo done right and done with care.
You know what else they do?
What's that?
Piercings.
Oh, have you ever thought about getting anything pierced?
I've gotten stuff pierced there.
Get out of here.
I know. Justin's great.
Justin, Josh, Keith, and Jesse.
Yeah.
Lot of J's.
Lots of J's.
You know why there's so many J's? Because they do a great job.
Wait, where are they located, though?
They're in Becker, Minnesota, right off of Highway 10 on Bank Street, right behind the bank.
So you go get your money, and then you go to Modify and give them all your money.
That's right. And you get yourself a tattoo that you're going to be proud of and you're going to want to show off to all y'all friends. Head to modifytattoo.com right now. Their schedule is mighty full, but hey, they'll get you in. Modified Tattoo and Piercing in Becker, Minnesota. Enjoy the show. Hi, Kim Duke.
Hey, Chris Duke.
How's it going?
Great.
We're backlogging some episodes because of the current state of the world and the abundance of white guys on podcasts, which I know I'm perpetuating because I am white guy on podcast. But on top of that, luckily, the first person is somebody that I've known for 13 fucking years.
2006.
Which is
shit.
bananas.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mara Maruska.
Those are names that you said. One of those was mine.
Shit. Mara Muska.
That's a skateboarder.
You're right. Chad Muska.
Bruska. Bruska.
Bruska. Oh, God damn.
Wow.
Oh, you know why I was
No,
doing
I don't
that?
know
Was
why.
because Jody Maruska was that comic that I had with Jason Schomer.
Yeah, and I said that last name was like my first and last name combined
Yeah.
on Facebook.
That's what was fucking me up.
I recall.
Okay.
God.
Ooh.
Those dogs
You
is
should
loud.
You should prepare yourself next time.
I know.
You
I had
call
a-
yourself a professional. Your board's not working.
Okay, so hi.
Hello,
How are you?
I am here. We're
So
doing it.
you and I met, like you were saying before, 2006 at the wonderful world
Of Belch.
of Sam Walton's Walmart.
It's no longer his. He's been very dead
Well, but
since
you
like
know what I
92.
mean. Like Walt Disney is also dead, but
True.
Yeah.
His pictures are still around the store with like propaganda. It's super cool. Yeah.
so we met because I needed a job, and that is actually a funny story because I had like just stopped smoking weed. You remember that? And I had to go for a pee test, and you drove me to the pee test
In
station.
Buffalo.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yep.
I do remember that.
And so like I had stopped, but randomly I had smoked with one of my friends, and I was like, I'll have enough time.
Whose
and it
pee
was
did you steal?
it was my own pee. But I went in there, and I could tell they thought I was like lying because I said, I'm so sorry, but I have to go to the bathroom before I pee into the thing. Is that possible?
Like poop?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And the lady, no pun intended, thought I was full of shit, and was like, okay, you can use that bathroom over there and then right to this one. I was like, I'm not here because like a pending court case. I could just leave if I wanted to. But yeah, P was
You're
cleaning.
like, I'm here to make $8 an hour.
Yeah. It was probably
It
like
was less than that.
$7.25.
No,
then.
it was I was making $7.40 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
I remember, I got, so my first day there.
That's $280-ish a week.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's
People
bad.
live off. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's
And
insane.
you were an unloader. You started as an unloader?
Yeah.
And because you were part of the coolest unloading crew of all time.
Gene
It
the
was,
man.
well, I mean, it wasn't, you were just in it. Like
Yeah.
you weren't
one of the cool guys.
Precisely. You weren't contributing. You just happened to tag
You just got to
along.
be in there.
Just kidding.
But what's it called? Like your first day on?
Orientation?
Yeah, orientation day. My orientation day, I was in there with, I feel like 12 potential door greeters. So we're doing orientation. We go on a lunch break. We come back, and was it Marty, the old
Yeah. You remember.
old HR lady? She was holding a woman who was having a seizure.
Oh, dear Lord.
And so we're all about to walk in, and she just calmly goes, "Oh, you guys can go for another 10-minute break."
She's seen it all.
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
She's
It
seen
was so
all.
crazy.
It's a code white. Well, see, my orientation, I had food poisoning.
Say, that's what I was excited to talk about. So I had my wild orientation story, but I wasn't really affected by it. It was just super weird. Your first day, start at the beginning of the day.
So I wake up and use the bathroom, and I immediately vomit. And I'm like, excellent. All right. And then I'm dead broke at this point. I haven't had a job in a year, and I've been applying to places, and I finally got this job. I had just quit McDonald's, which I worked at for 4 days, because you can't work at McDonald's.
It's all
It's
people are mean.
impossible. Yeah, I had to tuck my hair into my hat because it's like it offended people that I had long hair. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It was so uncomfortable. I had hair longer than I do now into my hat. Yeah. And so I quit that after 4 days. But then I have this job, and I don't have transportation other than my dad's girlfriend's kid, like a 10-year-old. He's got a bike, like a 16-inch, and it's got those massive pegs, like this little kid's gonna do like Matt Hoffman shit in a half pipe, but in reality he's gonna kind of like try, like maybe take it to the lake and then back. So I have this silly ass bike. I'm like an adult on like this little kid bike, and I have to ride it 6.5 miles with food poisoning. And I get to that bridge in Monticello, where Perkins is.
Yeah.
On the way up that hill, I almost passed out. I had to get off and walk the rest of the way. And I get there, and I'm just like so exhausted. And Marty says, "You're an hour early." I'm like, excellent. What do I do? I hung out in the bathroom for an hour. And then I come back in when it actually starts. And they hand this packet to you like it's a high school like Scantron test, and you have to open it with a pencil or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I should probably go home. I'm very ill. She's like, well, if you do, the next orientation's in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, I need money, so I'm just going to sit down. And so as soon as we like crack open the booklets, I got up and went to the bathroom for 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just kind of came back in. Like, I have to be here. I can't.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I had to do the whole shift, and then I had to go back home.
Oh, and you had to bike back home.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the other 6.5 miles.
God damn it. That's so awesome.
That was hardcore.
That is.
That's for $7.40 an hour.
Getting that job was so awesome because I went to high school with a couple of people that could like quote Monty Python movies. And like within, I don't know, a month, I had 4 or 5 people that I could do silly accents with and eventually talk about Metalocalypse and get to do all of this goofy shit.
Yeah, because I loved you guys. That's what I would always time my breaks so I could go on break with the unloading crew because they're so fun. Yeah, it's like you and Nathan and Joby.
God. Oh yeah, Joby.
Yep, that's when I met her too.
Nathan was, God, he was the best. Gene was awesome too.
Yeah,
because he was like he was
Legend.
silly. Yes.
Absolute legend.
He was silly and insanely determined and so hardcore Christian.
Was he?
Yo, yeah.
I never
dude.
got that from him. I didn't know that.
Really?
No, I just knew him as like, he was just cool, like the cool boss that like
Oh, that's so funny.
would bust his ass also.
That's why he wouldn't swear.
I don't remember that.
That's
I
funny.
didn't work with him directly though. I just
Oh.
hung out with him on break.
Okay. Yeah. So like he would, and he was from the Bible Belt too.
Okay.
So like he was very, I think he was evangelical and
Gigantic.
yeah, enormous.
Mm-hmm.
I've told this story a couple of times on here, but so because I was married, I was the only one that he would talk about like marital relations with.
Okay.
Because he waited till marriage, which is, dope. But so anytime somebody would talk about sex, he was always like, ugh. Like, except for me. And so we were talking about condoms, and I've always been like an in-between sized person in general, just across the board. Shoes never fit exactly right. Shirts are always weird. I just everything was always
You're
weird
like a
on me.
medium.
Yeah, a medium.
Okay.
And so we were talking about condoms, and I was like, the larges don't fit right, or the magnums are obviously too big, and the larges. And he cut me off and goes, are constantly breaking. I was like, that's not the problem that I have. And there was like this silence, and he was kind of just looking off into nothing. And you could see him internally realize that he had a huge penis. So I went and told people, because I was like, Gene can only buy Magnum condoms because his penis is constantly
And
breaking.
they break.
He's so humble.
And so we called him Jumbo Cock.
Okay,
Or
that's
JC.
a little on the nose, I guess. Oh, JC.
Jumbo Cock Gene.
All right.
JC. So I'm trying to remember the gal's name. Blonde, curly hair, worked in returns, I think. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that lady walked by us as Gene and I were walking, and she goes, "What's up, JC?" I was like, "Holy shit! Why would you do that?" And then she just kept on walking, and he goes, "She just called me JC. What? Why'd you call me JC?" And I go, "Oh, probably because you're super religious."
Because of the religious thing.
And he was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then we just luckily.
That was immediately what I thought when you said JC, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
intersect.
Which is hilarious that he was cool with that, because that would mean that she's calling him Jesus Christ. It's like, hey, what's up, Jesus Christ?
It's funny because I literally got called Jesus at that store.
Yeah.
I was Walmart Jesus.
Yeah.
I was at the theater. I was in the very back of the theater. Someone I didn't know walked into the theater, looked to the back of the theater at me, and said, "Hey, Walmart Jesus," and then took their seat.
There was that one person that worked in like the gun area though, that had really long.
Joe?
Okay,
really
so
long hair.
yes, he actually ended up as like on the internet for like world's best mullets.
Really?
What?
Yeah, like someone snapped a photo of him and put him on like, I don't know what it was, some mullet website. I think he was on People Walmart too, because he gives that off. That
Yeah.
vibe,
Yeah.
though. But yeah, that hair though. And he did it himself. Well, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Because I don't think anyone's going to do that for you anymore. Like I think in the 80s he could find someone, but now they only remove it and for free. They're like, we'll buzz you up and give you this maybe a bun.
He has one of my favorite moments of working at Walmart. He was training me in on something, and some guy was like, "Hey, do you guys have?" I don't even know, so I'm just gonna say Schlond Poofa.
Oh, that one.
Do you guys have a Schlond Poofa? And he was like, "No, sorry, unfortunately, we don't carry that." And this guy goes, I thought Walmart had everything. And he goes, "Oh, actually, sir, we don't have elephants, giraffes, penguins." And like,
Totally see it.
just in the cheeriest way,
So funny.
completely disarmed that guy. I'm excited to. So I'm super excited to ask you. So I have my Walmart shenanigans, which that's one instance. But I'd love to hear some memorable.
I was going to mention the thing about Gene. Do you remember? There's one day where we were trying to reset the TV wall.
Okay.
And we were using the cherry picker.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And then, so we were like, this is when TVs weighed like 4 million pounds.
Oh my gosh.
You know, they were the CRT. So all the weight was in
the back.
No, it was on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Because it was made out of like 4 inches of glass or whatever. And then the back was super light. And someone had a TV on it. It was facing the person on the lift. And Gene was like, I really need to use that cherry picker. Like, hey man, we got to move this TV from here to here. Dude grabbed it from the wrong end, just picked it up like it was nothing, and then like put it where it needed to go. And then from then on, it was the Gene lift, because you had the green lift, like the green zone lift, and you had like the red zone lift, and then there's just his own. He had his own lift because he was such a legend.
Everything he thought he could like figure out, like he was all about problem solving. When that dude, that Russian guy, came up to me, or he and I, and I think we were zoning the toys. And he came up to us and was like, I want for when the doorbell phone rings upstairs.
I remember this.
And I was about to say, we don't know. And Gene was like, yeah, we can figure that out. And I went off with the guy to try and figure out how he could wire a phone.
He just got like an arm full of like unrelated objects that can do that. I actually remember that customer because they came in a lot. Yeah, very thick accent. Like you're not just busting out your accent because.
Oh yeah, no, he was very Russian.
Yeah, like those I guess the earlier days are more fun. It gets more depressing every year you work there. And I'm about to hit 15 years. So that's just
wow.
I get a new badge. And so everyone gets to like know. Like
15 years.
Yeah. I get to see it right on my chest. Yeah.
Why don't you go work at corporate?
Why do I? Oh, I moved a little bit up and then, oh no. And then it's just like I don't know. I felt like, there was a lot of pressure to do certain things, and then like it felt like gaslighting. Like you were going crazy. Like,
oh, dude, all the time.
Like I'm pretty sure I'm dying working here, but they're saying I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
and it messes with your head. There was one time where I asked for a day off 2 months in advance, I believe. It was just one day because I wanted to go to a Nightwish concert. I had the tickets already, and they released a schedule and I had it off. But this wasn't like the official schedule. It was just one that my direct supervisor put in electronics for us to see. Oh. So we didn't have to look at that big ass collage of schedules. Mm-hmm. I was like, sweet, I got it off. Going to my concert. And it turned out I got scheduled that day. Then they didn't tell me. And they scheduled me for 4 hours. I was full-time 40 hour. Like I don't work 4-hour shifts ever. And those 4 hours were when the concert was. It wasn't like I could just go in 7 to 11 and then take off. Yeah. It was like they plotted against me to not go to this. But I already went, and I guess they tried to call me, but I'm listening to a sweet concert. Yeah. Then I got coached. I got double coached for it.
Oh, wow. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. They went from verbal to written. And then, and then that lady got fired 2 weeks. 2 weeks later. Her name was Sunday. She got fired. She sucked. And then not too long after that, I got coached again for productivity. And this is the night. Okay, so it wasn't my manager that coached me. He waited, told the overnight manager to do it for him because they could do it after my shift ended. Ugh. So just a coward. But here's what happened though. I worked an entire pallet of freight right before I got coached for productivity. That pallet of freight was not for me to work. It was for overnights to work. I did their job for them casually before I left in like 45 minutes. Something that they take hours to do on overnights. Yeah. And I got coached for productivity. And back then they gave you what was called a decision day. You had to take a day off. and like think about your career with Walmart. Like, oh man, I really need this $8 an hour. And then you had to go in and then tell them like what your action plan.
God,
And it was
so
really
funny.
cool. My action plan just said, I'll keep doing what I've been doing. And then I actively, like, this is how diabolical I was, did less by a lot. Like, just like, well, that looks nice. Not going to work that. That's for overnights. I don't have to do any of that. And then my manager, this fucking dope, it's just like, you're doing a great job. You've really improved since your coaching. I'm like, all right, yeah, so this place is full of shit, and I don't like any of them. That's cool.
Oh, man. Speaking of pull and peel, a question that is asked almost every episode, and we haven't asked it in a long time. Do you know what that question is, Kim Duke?
Don't ask gross stuff, please.
Okay. So, have you eaten ass or had your ass eaten?
No.
Never.
No, I'm a millennial and I haven't. This is a terrible admission. Because I'm always out there too. I'm such a poser. I'm like, yeah, eat ass. Eat ass. I got like eat ass flags and stuff. Like, I eat ass. I have like a bumper sticker. And my dark secret, which we're learning today, is no, it hasn't happened. Not even accidentally. It wasn't like dark and someone got lost. Like someone, just a little, one of those nights where you're drinking. Like not even an accident.
Not even an accident.
Nope.
Not even a boop.
And I never like tripped or anything. I'm so innocent.
Oh, that's so great. It's so keto as well,
There's no carbs.
No carbs.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
And well, yours is definitely carby.
Oh.
That's cool. That's all I eat is carbs. I'm a carb-centric person, so.
How do you stay skinny, by the way?
Do you think I'm skinny?
You've been the same size
Forever.
Yeah, I found out, like, okay, so some people, like, you can kind of tell where their fat goes, when they gain weight. If I gain weight, it just attaches to my liver. And other internal organs, like, it's just visceral fat. Like, it just hides in there. Because, like, I'll tell, like, how much do you think I weigh? I'll tell you.
How much do I think you weigh?
Yeah, you got to guess first. It's a game.
148.
It's funny. I was going to say 145.
Ooh.
So you've both said target weights.
Is that your driver's license weight that we said?
No, I'm very honest. I'm very honest. The only thing I'm not honest about is the ass eating. No, I just weighed in 174.
No way.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually
But
weighed
you're tall.
I weighed in at 176.
How tall are you?
5'7.5". So kind of, I guess, a little bit.
What the hell?
So it's cool. I get to do weight math because I get to guess how much my boobs weigh. And then I subtract it because they're made out of goo. So it's
I'm
not.
going to start erasing my ass.
God, that's funny.
You don't get to. This is no.
No, I know.
I slouched so far down with all of the chuckles. I think I was just
Like last year, they weighed 3 pounds. Like and I got down to 152.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, this year's been tough.
dude.
We've all been in this year.
Yeah.
We've all been here. Yeah, we
I'm
all know
so
what's going
confused
on.
because we're the same height. I may be like a half an inch.
Baby, you are like 5'6". Don't lie.
Are you sure?
I'm 5'6".
So you're 5'7".
5'7.5". Yep.
5'7" and 3/4.
No, you're not.
5'6" and 3/4. I mean, remember we did this at the doctor's
I was
office.
gonna say because like that.
Okay, I don't even trust the doctor because on my height, the last time I went last week, they put 5'2". I am not 5'2". I'm 5'3".
I wish
and
you
a
were
half.
5'2".
I do too.
I would throw
I
you
would get
everywhere.
thrown around. No, I'm 5'3" and a half.
How did you get short? How did they mess that up?
She didn't even measure my height. She just put it in.
Okay.
But I'm like, that changes my BMI. So then I
It
got
does.
pissed.
Yeah, because that's.
I was like, that threw me in a different category, that inch and a half.
Well,
it
anyways,
does.
I am the last time I weighed myself 175, and our weight looks very different apparently.
Well,
I
apparently.
explained it thoroughly just a little bit ago. Is there like a one?
Well, unless you have an extra 25 pounds in your chest, I don't get how
on
you...
organs.
Well, let's see. Hold on. This might be muscle. That's what I'm hoping.
See-
Or it's like, okay, so because I'm actually getting mad because I'm cutting like 1,000 calories. I'm coming in. I'm doing the math. I've got the food scale. I'm looking at all the numbers.
Okay, pull that mic a little closer to you.
Oh, sure. Okay. Apologies. Okay, let me pull in my chronometer.
Chronometer.
You ever use that? So I 1567 calories today. That's what I ate. And then I have another app that tells me how much I walked. 10 miles.
Whoa.
Almost 11.
Did you walk here?
No.
No, I'm just teasing.
I could have. Just like, hey, can you be by 6? Like, I got to start yesterday. So I do all that math and like, I feel like it went up recently. And I'm like, am I full of poop? So I took like
That's why you always
Metamucil.
weigh yourself naked after you've peed in the morning without
I
drinking.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I've read that.
Yeah, I
Chris
stopped
likes to
weighing
fuck with
myself.
it. He weighs himself at random times. Like,
Well, no, I've done the morning weigh
naked
and
after peeing.
not naked after peeing. But so if I weigh myself with all my clothes on and then weigh myself again with all my clothes on the next day, it's going to be the same.
It depends.
Sure.
You know what I'm
Clothing
saying?
weighs different.
But if I'm wearing the same clothes,
Same exact thing.
Well, what if you're wearing your suit of armor?
What if you sweat in those clothes?
True. Just holding on.
I
If I don't shower for a while, I just got layers of skin
Yeah. Yeah.
that need to be shed.
That's true. Okay, now, so much fun working with all of you guys, and then as we kind of started to disperse.
Did you figure out how many jobs? Sorry, I had to pee. How many jobs you worked? 1,000.
You know how many I would have if I had a choice in the matter? I would have had one job. I'd still be at it. And that'd be my first job in Germany.
Oh, at the electronics place.
Yeah, I like that job. But
That's right.
obviously I can't just live there in Germany.
You haven't gone into your like previous history at all, because it's actually super interesting.
Is it?
So your dad was in the military, correct?
Stepdad, yeah.
Stepdad was in the military.
I had all the parents.
Okay. So when did you start, like when did your stepdad come into the fold?
So that would be like late 80s. Started dating my mother.
But how old were you?
5.
Okay.
And then, but I wasn't really visiting. I wasn't really going to my mom's at the time. That happened a little bit later, that I started doing weekends. So I mainly lived with my dad and my stepmom and my stepbrother up until...
Your stepbrother. Sorry.
That's a character. Yeah. Up until I was in high school, 9th grade. Halfway through 9th grade, that's when I moved to Alaska.
Oh,
which is where they were stationed. Yeah. So
Keep going.
So you want to move to where it's colder. It's what you want to do. That's the goal. No, it's gorgeous up there. So I moved there. So I was like 14 years old. And then we lived there for like 2 years.
Okay, that reminds me though. I am gonna put a pin in that because
Right on.
there's a story that you told
Oh, okay.
of an interaction with a police officer.
Oh God.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I do.
Would you mind telling that story?
Yeah, it's great. This was like near the end of my stay in Alaska. So I had friends. It wasn't like when I first moved there, I knew one kid who was really weird. And we were hanging out, and it was like October, so everything's covered in ice already. And we were just goofing off. We went to the community center where they have an ice rink. And we weren't skating, we were just running around on the ice rink. And at that point, I thought I was so cool because I had this idea where I took the trucks off of a skateboard and I would like try to ride it down like a snowboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which already existed. That was already a thing. It was in the little tiny skateboarding magazine. Do you remember that?
Yeah, snow skates.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was a genius. It was really hard though. So I was doing that and like I would just like also just run onto it and like try and skate around on the rink. And I had used the toilet while we were at this rink. And I'm just like, I'll just pee on the ice rink because I don't want to like go find a real toilet. And all of a sudden here's like, somewhere over here, you pissing? And then I thought it was a friend. They should know this already. And I was just like, yeah. I was just like laughing, yeah. And then I'm done, and then like I'm penguining back to my friends, and I hear this ruckus. And it's this cop trying to scale the fence because he thinks I'm running from him. But I just did not register him as a different person, like wondering if I'm peeing. I'm like, and I see him and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, hey, and I just kind of skate over to him, and he's like hung up on this fence, like, because he's not climbing it. If I wanted to run, I was getting away. And he's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I guess I could clean it up. He's like, I guess you can't do that. I'll just go. And then we just kind of left. I go back to my friends, and they were laughing, and they're like, we just thought we thought you were going to run from that cop. And we were like, hell yeah, let's run from the cops. And I'm like, no, I just had no idea that guy was there.
I love that story so much.
So I peed at this.
Did he get over the fence?
Hell no. Not even close. Not even. No. He was like in a snowbank. Like he was just covered in snow. Like, because he was on this weird side. I don't know where he even came from. Like he was just, I think he was also peeing. And that's why he was like, you know what? Can't throw stones.
God damn it. That's funny. So yeah, I remember.
So I'm like 17 when that happened.
When you told me that
16.
story, I had such like a vivid image of what I thought that looked like, and it's so funny imagining that defeated breath of like, well, I guess you just go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm just so aloof the whole time because I'm just so clueless like as to what's actually happening around me.
God damn it, that's awesome. Okay,
Very
please
funny.
continue on your global tour.
So that was right before I moved to Germany. I don't know. That should be eventful, but
Well, because you were in Germany when 9/11 happened, correct?
Yeah, that's true. So I moved there in what was it? January 2001.
Okay.
So a good chunk beforehand. And I went to a school on the military base. So it was very much like you didn't even have to experience Germany. You could just be on base. Everyone speaks English. You can just stay there and basically live in America, but a very small version of it. Oh. And the school was tiny. It was so tiny they had to combine the high school with the middle school for it to even
count.
Yeah, to count as a building that people could my graduating class was 30 people or something like that. Yeah, so you just knew there's no cliques because
everyone just knows everyone.
Yeah, you're just like I know you. I actually was in Minnesota. And I flew back, and then 2 weeks later, 9/11, and we went into, I'm going to mess this up because it's been so long, threat condition Delta, because because we had these little signs up, and it always said the condition A, B, C, and D, and so D is the maximum. And I think right when it happened, we had a week off of school just because it was so tense.
Yeah.
And then we went, sorry. We went back to school, and we would get on these buses driven. They were like German drivers, German we must have just contracted them or something.
Oh, okay.
And very fancy. They were like tour buses, the fancy seats and stuff, or not tour, but Greyhounds.
Yeah, I know.
Not
that's
not
funny,
like
'cause
the
that's what I imagined.
weird, smelly brown seat buses. Yeah. And so what would happen is they'd have to go to our base, pick up all these kids, go to, it was called Blydorn lease. If you wanted to pay for a really nice apartment, you could, if you didn't want to live on the other base and have your living situation paid for. And we lived there for a little while. So the bus would have to go up there. And since it was traveling between posts, whenever we would go on one, they had to get these mirrors and run them under the buses. And then someone would get on and check everyone's military ID.
Wow. He was checking for bombs.
Yep. And it was every time you went on. Yeah. So if you went off base and went back on, they had to do the check again.
That is so intense.
And it stayed that way for I don't even know how long. And then it moved to C. I feel like it stayed elevated the entire time I lived there.
That's so crazy.
Because I lived there until 2004.
So, did you say you turned 18 while you were there?
Yeah.
So, did they try to get you to enlist at all, or like, did they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
But I'm so cool though. In the school, they had a day where we had mandatory ASVAB.
ASVAB?
Is that what it's called? I should know this.
Fab ass. You know what I'm saying?
ASVAB. ASVAB.
Just keep saying it. ASVAB.
ASVAB. Is this an ASMR podcast? I don't know. It's like some military testing, basically.
Okay.
You take it before you would join.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
okay.
yep.
And they had all the kids, which is creepy. They want all the kids to do it. I didn't do it. I hung out in the art room. I was like, I'm not doing this test. I'm not joining the army. You're
Yeah.
stupid. Which is ironic because now I just can't.
Ah.
Banned twice over.
2-time ban?
Yeah. Medical condition
Oh.
and then trans. It's a double whammy. And
Wow.
plus, I don't want to be put in the machine.
Yeah,
My hair was too nice.
Okay. So then you come back to Minnesota, and then that's when all of the...
In 2004, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I moved in to Big Lake and was just poor. There's actually, I don't know if you know this part of the story. I enrolled in pro wrestling training camp.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
Completely forgot about that.
technically I can pro wrestle anyone.
Fuck yeah.
It's not good for self-defense because you're not trying to hurt
That's true.
anyone.
My
could
brother
fake it.
refereed wrestling for a
Done
while.
that too.
Yeah.
Like, you say wrestling. What do you mean?
Like amateur.
What
Like
was
with the
it was
ring?
the AO,
yeah, the
American-
like the, ring,
The circle.
AWL?
I don't remember.
AWS, I think. American
No, like,
Wrestling Society.
Like
What are you
wrestling.
talking about? Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
We're
The-
talking about
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tour it's the same guys. They're from Elk River. These two.
Oh, the French Lake?
Ah.
French Lake Auto.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, there was a former pro wrestler
Mm-hmm.
who runs the thing.
Yeah.
And and Kim Duke's brother was a referee. It's pretty awesome.
I did ref one show in Iowa. That crowd was like 10 people. So.
Yeah, there wasn't big crowds. up
Surprised you're not on my podcast. That's how famous I am. I wrestled a total of 4 shows.
there. Oh,
I remember you showing me a photo of you in your costume, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
It was actually pretty tragic because I started in 2004, and then through 2005, and then I almost died in 2005.
Do you remember this story?
I had a blood clot in my leg,
Oh.
and then part of it broke off lung.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was, so I put it off going to the hospital. No insurance, no job, until I couldn't walk. And I went in, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you could die from it." My leg was, they said 75% bigger than normal.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what the ER docs said. You don't want wows when you're in there.
No,
but
no.
I got a
And then
wow
they're
from.
going and getting their other colleagues like,
Yeah,
look
check
at
this
leg.
out. Look
yeah.
at his leg. Oh my lord. So, and then like I get out, and then I find out the guy's just closing the camp.
Oh.
I get out of the hospital after like 2 weeks, and then they just close it. And they're like,
Whoa!
and they're doing like the last show soon, and like I actually filmed it, so
Oh,
I put that
really?
on my resume. Yeah, I filmed a couple of shows for them. Yeah,
Man, so and you're on medication like forever because of that.
yes, because a year later I almost died again.
What?
Because yeah, they took me off. I got a test. They said, hey, you have factor V Leiden mutation. See a hematologist. I make $7.40 an hour with no insurance. I'm not seeing a hematologist.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's just not happening.
Yeah.
So I don't. And then I got the same, but I recognized it, the symptoms immediately. I'm like, this is it again. And I hobbled into the hospital. No, actually I had Rob take me in. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the night before I limped home from work. And then the next day I resolved, like I still had warfarin tablets. So I took some, I just dosed myself.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, please help. And then I went in, yeah, I had Rob take me to the hospital.
What are
Warfarin is what
it's
I
a
did.
blood thinner.
Yeah, it's what I take forever now.
Yeah.
It sounds like something.
And they have to dose it. You have to get your blood
It's very
checked.
specific.
It's very specific. That's
Yeah.
why I shook my head.
Exactly. No, that was the correct response. That's the you're dumb.
But you don't know. They don't tell you that.
For sure.
You don't hear like Chris. You'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead, take some. If it's gonna make that blood clot. Sorry, if it's gonna make that blood clot thinner, then yeah, keep taking it.
But that's not even how that medication works. You can't just take it and.
No.
That was like a Hail Mary. Even I knew that. That was like a Hail Mary. Like, that's not going to work in me. You need to take something intravenously.
Interesting.
To get rid of that clot, yeah.
Yeah, or to, yep, exactly.
Did they do any like operation, like feed?
Nope. I just laid in a bed with hooked up to machines. The first night, I was hooked up to a lot of machines because they were like, that's a big one. That could kill you. So they
Gets
had to.
that long?
Yeah.
For your head?
Oh, that's where the aneurysm or stroke.
Embolism, pulmonary
Yeah,
embolism.
there we go.
Yeah. Because they did the scan
They call
and
it
they
the
saw
silent killer
exactly. Yeah, it just
because it can travel fast. Like you'll get like a cramp in your calf. You're like, meh, and some get really like where it's really really painful. But sometimes, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Wow.
it's
healthy people. Healthy people.
Yeah, you'll take a long flight to Europe and get off the plane
Walk.
and then there it goes. Yeah, once you walk, that like jars it loose. And
Yep, it moves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why there's even like, it's funny because like in Europe, they have commercials. Like in Germany, I remember this specifically. They're more conscious of it there. I remember seeing commercials for the stockings.
Oh,
It was like,
interesting.
yeah.
Oh, the compression.
Because I'm guessing there's more traveling.
I
in that-
suppose.
in
Yeah,
that-
I feel like
in Europe.
Europeans travel a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because the commercial was funny was all these people, you just see their legs like go all the way up on the seat in front of them. Because they
And,
want
like,
the
move
blood,
'em?
the blood flow. And,
And I feel, do they take a lot of trains and stuff out there? So they're
Oh yeah.
I think so, yeah.
so
'Cause they're
they
going
travel a lot.
To
Yeah,
in between countries.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow, that's super interesting. Man, okay.
And by the way, if you spend 2 weeks in the hospital, laying in a bed watching Little People Big World in Hell's Kitchen with one IV, cost you $40,000.
Isn't that crazy?
I did get a big cup for water.
Yeah.
The hospital on it.
Yeah, the styrofoam.
Did you
and
get to bring a
plastic.
toothbrush and
ass.
some toothpaste home too?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I would have just looked.
I
at
shoulda-
What can I take home with me?
That's the thing. I was like, I'm too innocent. Like I just
I
like,
know.
hello,
I
don't.
know.
I'm not in this room. You don't have to help me. Like, had I known afterwards, were you just like, Oreos? Like, get me
You're
a
already gonna charge me a lot. Get me everything you got.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, no, you can keep going. No, I'm fine in here.
Yeah, I'm the
just
same way.
Television.
God,
And then,
this is awesome.
I remember.
Yeah.
this
Thanks
is,
for your blood clots. That's awesome.
It's funny now because we had it under control, but this is an embarrassing hospital story. They give you the thing to pee in to make sure fluids are making the rounds. And I thought it was like you pee in it and you're just like, set it here. And then it's like, I just remember eventually, not the first time, second, it was like well into my stay here. They're like, you just put that in the toilet and then tell us the number.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, okay. It's not like a trophy.
you're like lugging it. Like, look how much I got this time, guys.
My
the
friends
urinal.
brought me McDonald's and look how much.
Yeah.
Are you proud of me?
Look how clear that pee is today. You did a good job.
God, that's awesome. Okay, now your stepbrother.
Yeah.
Such a funny. What's his name again?
Frank.
Frank. Oh, I don't know if you ever met him, but he would end up at
That's weird.
Applebee's a lot when we would go to Applebee's.
Everyone.
Yeah, you never invited me to Applebee's with you guys.
The Guitar Hero thing?
Never.
Oh, the Guitar Hero tournament. That's right. I forgot about that.
Monticello?
No, not that Applebee's. The one in Monticello. Yeah. So this is like another one of my favorite stories involving you. Is so Spencer, remember that dude? Big, long, gangly.
Spencer.
Yeah, he was a gay individual.
Spicer.
There we go. I said his name wrong. We'll call him Spencer anyways.
Oh, not wrong names today.
Well, I mean, it's pretty close. Spencer Spicer.
Sure.
Could be his full name is Spencer Spicer. Spicer
be.
Spencer.
Okay.
Anyways,
Alliteration names. I don't know.
so your stepbrother was very like vulgar in a lot of ways. Like he's Like
It's charismatic.
if Five Finger Death Punch was like if their songs was a person,
Oh God.
was him.
Yeah, that's pretty apt.
So we're all sitting at a booth, and Frank comes up, and Spizer's sitting there, and for some reason he's like, "Guys, hey, has this ever happened to you?" And he looks at Spicer and he goes, "Just pretend I'm tired, or that you like girls for this." And he goes, "So have you ever had a girl give you a blowjob and she deep throats you so hard that she can lick your balls?" And Spicer goes, "Yes, I have, and no one ever could." And I was like, "That's such a fucking good response." Did you get it?
I got it. I've heard that. I think I've heard that story before.
That was so, like, it felt like I was on a TV show.
Was he drinking?
Frank?
Yeah. Just curious.
I mean, I don't know, because he pulled up a chair at the end of the booth, so we were all already there. So I don't know. I
Did
can't
he
remember
come
if
from
was.
somewhere else, or was he with you guys?
No, he was not with us.
Right. Okay. Because he just knows everybody.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's why I'm surprised you don't know.
Yeah.
he had a tongue ring, correct? For a while,
Probably at the time.
Yeah. But it was so funny how like he was so clearly uncomfortable around Spicer any time that he was there.
I've never seen that interaction.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah, because I don't think I ever hung out with when they were both present.
Yeah, I don't know why that.
Which Applebee's is this?
One of Monticello.
It was. Oh,
Yeah,
I only
yeah.
ever went to the Guitar Hero thing. I'm a dork.
Well, so you were there for that time because I remember you told me about this. So you didn't drink normally because of medication, but you got, what was it, a mudslide?
Yeah, which is
Gross.
basically a milkshake.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you said. You're like, it's basically a
I said,
milkshake.
now I understand the whole reason why I don't remember anything else. I was too obsessed with that beverage because I thought it was delicious.
Yeah, it was. It was basically a milkshake. It was pretty awesome.
And it's not that I can't have alcohol. It's just I was very paranoid about it.
Yeah.
Like I really shouldn't, but it's kind of a cool excuse. Like, why can't you drink? Factor V Leiden mutation.
I'll bleed out and die.
Yeah,
It
just
makes
like
you sound like an X-Man.
X-Men. Yep. Which is ironic considering
What it actually is.
transgender.
Yeah. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Make this a long one. Kids are outside. So let's
Well,
transition.
why don't you go have them come in if you're worried?
They're playing with their friends that are moving and like.
All right.
Is outside closing up?
It is closing.
That's a joke.
Did you get that?
I didn't hear it.
Sorry. I said, is the outside closing up for the night?
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Good game.
Now, if you're ready, I wanted to get the silly stuff out. You know what I mean?
It continues being silly.
What do you point? You
I
pointed
thought
at
you
the
were doing
snacks.
snacks
Ooh.
We could do snacks
and then go into it.
and go into it. You good with that?
I don't care.
Palate
I'm so
cleanser.
tired of looking at these fucking spoons for months and have
Yeah.
not been able to try them.
All right.
Is it caramel?
The
Is
thing-
it caramel?
I don't think it's.
Is it sugar?
I don't think it's either.
All right. Well, hold on. 3, 2, 1. All right. What do we got there?
Sugar?
On a spoon?
No. Corn syrup?
Oh.
Chili? Citric acid? Salt?
Yeah.
Artificial flavor. I don't know what that is. Xanthan gum. Amazing. But this product may contain tartrazine. Are you allergic?
Tetrazzini.
Yep, which is a
sure.
pasta.
Yep.
So it can't be caramel because caramel is not something I can have.
Oh.
But those
Interesting.
ingredients don't indicate caramel.
Okay.
Okay.
Why
Well,
are you like allergic to caramel?
Shit. It's not an allergy. How do I do this?
An aversion?
This sucks because I have to do the meme. And this is the deadest, hackiest joke of all time. I have to tell you. But it's because it's important. I'm vegan.
Oh. Well, if it's not listed on the ingredients.
How do you know? How do you know?
Now I see why you were diving in on the ingredients.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. Nothing.
Because
under-
caramel has milk in it?
Right.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
I've
It's probably
seen
not caramel. It's
how it's
probably the
made.
gum.
So we've exposed this for what it really is.
What's the title of this fine treat?
Colors and xanthan.
Kucharari.
Mi costanera. Mi costanera cucharazo.
It's a
Tamarind spoons.
There was this guy on Top Chef in like
Okay.
2006, and every recipe had xanthan gum in it.
Really?
He was he considered himself a molecular gastronomist.
Wow.
Yeah, so everything was a foam or had xanthan gum or both.
So folks, if you can see, it's cellophane.
It's like suckers.
Oh,
Mexican
Deborah, your
seed.
giant bun is blocking Mara right now. Scooch
It's probably
closer
been
to
like
me.
that the
Yeah,
whole
that's
time.
fine.
Damn it!
Well,
Didn't realize that until just now.
Haven't you ever seen Movie Magic? You just green screen it.
That's a good
funny.
point.
I bet that's been like that the whole time.
It's fine.
Well, you do move when we record.
You won't let me move today. Give me that.
Okay. So here's what we do. Everybody gets one. We sniff,
Sniff. Don't taste it yet.
but it's cellophane, rubber band, and a plastic spoon.
Rubber
Which
band.
feels very drug
The
mule.
spoon is the interesting part for me. It's sticking a little bit.
Ooh,
It smells good.
smells like tahine.
It does smell like tahine.
Have you ever had tahine? It's like a seasoning that you put on like fruits.
Isn't it like sesame seeds or something?
Now,
No,
are you
it's
supposed to
like
like
chili.
stir this into something?
Oh, it's like chili.
Like
Maybe
chili powder.
I'm thinking of tahini, I think,
Oh,
which is like okay.
No, you just eat it off the spoon.
you think so?
Ah,
What do you think it smells like?
Delicious.
We should get a different spoon,
Put it on the other spoon.
and then yeah,
They say best candy ever.
a different smaller spoon.
Goes well with coffee.
Goes well with coffee?
I'm
That's
out
what
of
people
coffee.
say.
All right. Well,
Who are the people?
you ready, Kim Duke?
I've been coat with more tahini if desired. Okay, I'm ready.
You like it?
I love it.
What are your thoughts?
I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna make faces.
I'm not into it. I'm just going to be
me
honest.
Ooh, I'm not either. Ooh,
It tastes like bird feeder smells. Like
Don't wet this asshole.
don't let these two assholes.
These assholes here. I'm not disappointed.
Well, I mean, I guess if you like it. God damn it.
I'm just a huge fan of describing a taste as a smell. Like,
Yeah.
just in general.
One time, I had noodles from the Chinese place in the mall, and they tasted like what a horse smells like. It was the worst. I can't have noodles from a Chinese
Oh, it hits
place
me
ever.
every time. Every time that's a description of a taste.
You know.
Because it's so accurate.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it gets into that special part of your palate.
It's like the first time that I can think of describing that is when I tried beer for the first time. I remember saying it tastes like piss smells.
Oh, it's true too. Damn. And buy it again. It's so good.
God, that's hilarious.
I feel like it needs to be added to something else.
See, that's what I think too.
Your mouth.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Saliva.
I think part of the problem is it's like it does look like it's gonna taste like caramel,
Right.
Oh.
and you
So
don't.
you're prepared for
it's
caramel.
It's a plot twist. It's a twist,
But it's really just like some gummy shit with some
Spices,
flavoring
yeah.
spices. Yeah.
which is what the ingredients indicate.
they tell you that.
Yes,
It's
so.
still on my breath.
I'd make out with you right now. It tastes so good. Oh, they're so good.
No, it tastes like a candy that went under. Like the company is no longer in business, and somebody found it in like their
It's
grandpa's old trunk. And I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit! I used to eat this with my
It's
grandpa
a
all the time.
Starburst, essentially that's rolled in tahine.
Yeah.
It's like gooey
Oh,
with
okay.
tahini in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I only licked it. I didn't take a bite.
Oh,
Yeah, I went both. I had to do both.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should have taken a bite, you ass. You can't even critique
'Cause now
something
you can't-
unless
you-
you bit it.
You can't relate
Grab
to
another one. I'll finish it. I'm
description.
just teasing. Are you going to bite it?
No, I don't want to.
Wuss. Such a pussy.
I
feel
get,
like you
I get the
should
consistency
have.
though.
I think that
Okay.
you should.
Remember,
but
like Sugar Daddy, those.
there are snacks that we've had where I spit them out immediately. Didn't even try it, chew it.
So the confession, like I don't like candy.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So like just go.
I wish I didn't like
So are you more of a savory?
Yeah,
Salty?
and salt. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
When did you begin your vegan journey?
2017 March, end of
Mm.
March,
Okay. Did you go
overnight.
full vegan?
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting to me because you are on like how many medications are you on right now?
3.
3? Okay.
No, I'm down to 3. Yeah. I'm slowly becoming a nurse though.
Really?
Yeah, because I switched to one of my medications to an injection.
Nice.
So I get to do that.
Every day?
No, every
Oh,
week.
okay.
Once a week. And then I switched my lab visits. I used to go into the lab for my warfarin management. I do it at home now. So it's the finger poke.
Like the point of contact kind of. I think that's what the lab is called. Yeah.
INR.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's called.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you just tell them what it is. And they're
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're
got-
fine.
It's so cool. It just does it with Bluetooth. Like it just talks to my phone and then it sends it up.
Freaking technology.
But it's cool because like I've been doing it so long that I already know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Like I could just look at the number and be like, they're gonna raise it this much,
Yeah.
and then they do.
Wow.
But it's much cheaper, and I don't have to go to a lab.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me another one of those spoons.
Okay. So people who are unaware, like when I met you,
Oh, they're only 36
and the
calories.
defining feature was long hair goatee.
Wizard beard.
Yes, the
I'd
wizard
say is
beard.
a more accurate description.
It was magical.
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf. If Gandalf was in a metal band, that
Correct.
was.
Yeah, that was sort of what I was going for.
But wristbands, metal, like black,
Let's describe the wristbands.
like the sweatbands.
One was for a cartoon called Naruto,
That's right.
so I can look cool but just be the biggest dork.
Did it have the metal plate on it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not that. Not that much of it. No, it's funny because Nathan had the headband with
Yeah.
the same leaf symbol on it. They're cool.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, I had super long hair, like down to my butt,
and
then the
so I,
giant beard.
yeah. So like all of us associated you with like this hardcore dude.
It was very weird because I remember there was such a big disconnect, obviously. But some people would say something like, "Oh, I wouldn't mess with you," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm made of sponges. I'm the nicest person that
I
there
ran into a
is."
cop and he was yelling at me.
Yeah, I was just like, "Hello, I'm being in trouble now." Dang it! I wouldn't lie when I was a kid. Even when my parents told me to lie, like my mom said, "Hey, you kids can just stay home today. It'll be fun." And then when you go to school, you tell them you missed the bus. Went to school. Mom said we could stay home.
So I mean, so that aspect is super interesting. The fact that you're a very truthful person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember, because I feel like I remember you telling me that you had body dysmorphia, and I didn't really I'd never heard it before,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't know what it was. And then it wasn't until a while later that you started to go through your transition, and we found out all of that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
going back, at what point did you start to recognize that you felt?
You want the real history?
Yes,
7.
please. 7.
Mhm.
Wow.
Do any of you remember a 1992 film called Ladybugs starring Rodney Dangerfield and Jonathan Brandis?
Wow. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you? Okay, so basically Rodney Dangerfield has to coach a girls' soccer team. And he kind of recruits his stepson as a ringer. So this is a sexist movie too, as a ringer for the team, like because it's basically like Mighty Ducks meets Juwanna Man. A couple of deep cuts there.
Yeah.
So dresses up the kid like girl. He does the falsetto voice and all that ridiculous shit. And all I remember is like the kid was like complaining about it. Like, I want to do this. This is dumb. And I was just watching like, why did you want to be on the girls team? It's amazing. I want to be in the girls team. And that was that was it. Wow. That was like the first concrete memory I have. Like, just everyone wants to be in the girls team, right? Like I convinced myself that I was normal. Like everyone wants girl, and then everyone else is just unlucky. Like, because there's the both.
Interesting.
And then, have you heard of Ron Mahaf?
Mm-mm.
It's like an anime.
Okay.
It's like from the 80s. And basically it's about, it follows like, father and son. They're like martial artists. And
Okay.
the show starts, they go to, train at these like hot springs or whatever, like these little pools of like hot water. And there's like these little poles sticking up all over the place. And like they balance on them and they like fight or something.
Okay.
And they both fall in one of the pools, and then they emerge. One of them emerges as a panda bear, and the other one a girl, because it turns out when these pools, you turn into whatever died in that pool. So like a girl died in this pool, and a panda bear died in the other one. And it's only when you get hit with like hot water, you'd change, and then cold water changed it back.
Wow.
And I was obsessed with this. I'm like, and to the point where like I would have like a daydream about it, where like how I would hit the hot water, you take a shower, and then I would think about all the different ways I would avoid cold water.
Wow.
Like if there was like a swimming day, I would like, I'd have to like put my finger in to see if the temperature was too cold, or if it's like raining out or something, and I would have to like put on a poncho and like an umbrella. Yeah, stuff like that. And then there was a point, I don't remember when exactly, where I was like, it's not normal. This is you, and you take this to the grave.
When you say take this to the grave,
don't tell anyone.
But I mean, there's an event that, because part of why kids start to lie is because that fear of shame. Mm-hmm. So do you remember what made you feel ashamed of having those feelings?
That's the thing. I don't remember anything precisely. I think it must have been a lot of things, and just like the time.
Sure.
Because I remember like at the time, like, remember Ace Ventura?
Oh, yeah.
The whole point of that, the whole plot of that movie is that trans people are gross. Like that was one of like the overarching plot. It's like the main character finds out the character's trans. I kissed that person. Now I'm vomiting and burning my clothes and like crying in the shower.
Yeah.
That was kind of like pervasive, like, or like big guy in a dress, like, oh, I'm a girl now, and then they punch someone. Like,
yeah.
That was like how trans people are kind of.
Did you ever watch the Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
You remember his brother?
Oh, the guy that was in Fargo?
I think so, yeah. He was a cross-dresser.
Right.
And they tried to normalize that in that show. It's so oddly progressive for that time, because you're right. Like it was associated with liars, and they were trying to trick you. Yeah. It was always the concept with trans people.
And then like as I got older, I would see like they started doing like TV shows. Like also I was obsessed with any TV show or movie, no matter how bad it was. If there was like, if someone swapped in it, like Freaky Friday or something.
Oh, okay.
Like I would just watch it and like think about it. Wow. Like I would always be wishing, like before I went to bed when I was like a little kid, and I thought wishes worked. Like before I go to bed, birthdays, all that stuff. Wow. Like, oh, that looked like a shooting star. I better do the wish now.
Did you ever do the 11/11?
What's that? At
11/11, you'd make a wish.
No, I didn't know that one.
Well, maybe it would have panned out sooner if you.
I really blew it, didn't I? And it was always like, wake up, no memory of anything. It's just everything would change, and I would never have known anything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So I mean, and it had to have been, I don't think you were overcorrecting when you grew your beard out. I think that was just because of the genres of.
Well, beards are just tight.
Yeah. So I think so I never got that feeling that you were trying to overcorrect, but it was like pushed on you that you were much manlier because you had these attributes.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
So that had to be.
It was strange.
Yeah.
Like I didn't relate with that at all. Like I didn't really say anything about it, but it was strange the way people like interact with you. Like there's literally times I'd walk around a corner and startle people.
Oh yeah.
They're just because they get a peripheral and like very imposing, I guess. And I'm just like, I am not scary. Don't be scared of me.
So when did body dysmorphia even register?
It was always there.
But I mean, did you know what it was?
No. And I thought it was kind of normal because teenagers aren't always like comfortable being in their skin, you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember specifically just like, as long as like my shirts had to go past my butt and the jeans just had to be like loose. Like just, you know, hide it all. And then I would wear a hat and like it would be kind of down and like I wouldn't look at anyone. I would just look down and like no one could see my face when I walked around like the school hallways. Wow. And I always carried everything in my backpack so I could just go one class to the next. Yeah, I didn't have to go back to my locker.
I can't remember if we were at Walmart or not, but I remember you telling me like it was like a fleeting thing. So we were talking about something and you were like, oh no, I couldn't do that. And it was something to the effect of, body dysmorphia. And I think I just went like, oh yeah, even though I didn't know what it was, I didn't want to seem like an idiot. And so I'm trying to figure out what you considered body dysmorphia and then continued to stay the gender that you were at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I don't actually remember talking about that though. It was probably close to what I was just saying now.
Oh, okay.
Being uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then just there was a lot where like someone would show me on like video or whatever. I'm like, is that really me? Like, do I actually look like that?
See, that sounds more familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
It like never, I don't know, it never really sat. I don't know, it was really strange. A strange feeling of like, is that really me?
You moved in with Joby for a little while, right?
In 2008.
Yeah.
We got an apartment.
And so when did you start to entertain the idea, or like did it really sink in that you wanted to be your true self?
2013.
Okay.
Wow.
Because like through adulthood, I would see these things like, and this is always there, like in my head. And I always wanted to make sure I never said anything about it. That's why initially I was scared to drink alcohol. I didn't want to lose control of, so I, like having that excuse of like, I can't because I'm on this medicine was helpful because I didn't want to like, because I know I'd see people and they're like, I don't remember doing that. I never wanted to have I don't remember doing that because I feel like I just spilled something weird.
Sure.
Or weird.
Yeah.
That I thought at the time, you know what I mean? And then I was also scared of like anesthesia, like, because I would see those like, oh, Becky went to the dentist and now she's all waking up and crazy and
saying things. Yeah.
Yeah. I was always paranoid about, I would say something related.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was always happy. Like if I ever saw like a true life MTV, I'm transgender. Like I would see them and be like so happy for these people. And I'm like, well, that's not me. I'm a weirdo. They're real. I'm a fraud.
Oh.
Like I just thought it didn't connect then until like 2013, which is what happened was I went on Reddit. On Reddit there was a forum called Ask Transgender, and there was all these posts and I would just read all these experiences and they were just all the same. Like it was almost like I was on there writing them myself.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And like I even ran into a study and they had these like age groups and common like experiences like from surveys or whatever. It was like 28 to 30 and then described me exactly.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. And then I started looking into like how people deal with it. Like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want all of the things you're describing yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
this is, I need to, like, it hit hard. Like, once I really put it together,
Yeah.
I was just like, this needs to, because I was going just down, like, mentally.
Yeah.
It was just like, all I was thinking about is like, one day I'm just going to end up being like some crazy old person that like just isn't like no one likes and just insane, depressed, like living off of my own, like some cabin somewhere or something weird. And yeah, that was a big deal. So Reddit, I don't know if Reddit's still any good. Doesn't sound like it.
I've never been on Reddit.
That was like the first time I ever went on
of
there.
Trolling, and then
sounds bad.
A lot of like hostile, like people finding your information.
So you went on at a good time.
This was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So this was like right before I feel like there's a lot of media on trans people.
Mm-hmm.
Like by like a year or two even.
Yeah.
Because then it was like a couple years later was the Caitlyn Jenner story came out. And like I feel like it was all kind of a lot more attention was being paid, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like right before that.
I remember.
I told you on Facebook.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. That's because I remember Joby kept posting these really like oddly vague things. And yeah, I can't remember if I had messaged you initially about, because I had heard that like, I can't exactly remember how it was portrayed, but it seemed like check in on
dead name.
Dead name.
There you go.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Check in on so and so. And so yeah, and then when I started to ask you, you told me all the things, and I was like, I remember just feeling insanely appreciative, because that's such a difficult thing. Because like you were saying, like it was a year or two before people were like, finally understanding what it means to be accepting. And I was just super interested. And then we had dinner or lunch, something like that, and went and saw each other. And yeah, you were describing like the next steps
for me.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not like everyone does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just what I wanted.
Yes. Yep. And that was the first time I'd learned about like how any of that stuff worked. And that was it seemed like really unfortunate that that's what you have to go through to feel normal, like to feel
like yourself.
Content.
Sure.
Were you dating somebody at the time?
Yeah, me and Joby were still together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that conversation like?
That one was, so she was the first one I came out to. I still remember that because we went to St. Cloud, hung out, shopped, and we went and we got
the mic down. A little
sorry.
bit.
I know.
We got lunch together, Qdoba, the old Qdoba, and like the whole day, like it's just on my mind, and I'm just like trying to put it into the conversation, and it didn't get it until like on our way home. We're like down a couple blocks from our house, and I finally like awkwardly spit it out, and she was like confused, like, what are you talking about? And then she put it together like I wasn't joking. She's like, oh, you're serious? Like, you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah. Like my heart's like beating out of my chest.
Yeah.
And this is like obviously going to be the most accepting person in the world. Like this was like a layup person to tell. Like, and I knew that, but it's not rational, like my thought process. Like I was still so nervous to tell her, even though I know out of anyone in the world, this person's going to accept me no matter what. And it was still super hard.
Yeah.
To put it out.
Well, I mean, I never got around to asking her how she had like dealt with that stuff.
Jumped right in.
Yeah. And that was so, okay. So you have that conversation, and then did you go and start like scheduling appointments?
Immediately.
Immediately.
Yep. I had a therapist, and then we started seeing them. because it was like,
It's a process. Yeah.
yeah, it's like the
Insurance
Harry
one.
Benjamin Standards of Care Act of 19DDGD or whatever it is. So you have to like see a mental health professional, and they give you letters, see an endocrinologist. They set you up with medications, and kind of snowballs from there.
So you told Joe, and from there, who was the next person that you told?
The very next person, it might have been you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I know I had like an easy list. I had the,
Of people
the
that would
easy
be
list.
like, okay.
That makes sense.
yeah. I'm like, look at the people.
Well,
where
it's like if, honestly, too, if you go through all those easy people, then you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're just like working yourself up. All right.
exactly.
Figure
yeah.
your rhythm out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Until one day you're just like, just changing the Facebook name and see what happens. Because, talking in person I'm not great at.
Well, and I remember for a while you wouldn't, your profile pictures were never of you. It was always of like a anime character.
I think that was Ron the Half.
And, okay. So which of the parents did you tell first?
My mother.
And how did that go?
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's actually, yeah. So she was next. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
I don't know. My brain's not working. So obviously she was next. I don't know why I didn't bring that up. Maybe because it was in person. Like,
oh, okay.
we went and saw her in the cities. It just, I don't know. She just felt so far away at the time. You were like the first person I told online.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That's right. No, that one. She just said, okay. Gave me a hug.
Was there anybody that was not accepting? That's beautiful, by the way. That's fantastic.
No, there's people that were kind of accepting and crude was probably the worst.
Oh.
Like, they were just like, I don't know, you do the thing and like, just we're gonna chop the thing off and you're good to go. That's fine with me. Like, oh, thanks for the support. That's a little weird thing to say,
but it's, that's great. So like there was no, as far as like the people that you wanted to let know, there was no
Super mean.
no conflict.
That's
Good.
great.
I can't imagine what people go through. I felt like so lucky. I can't imagine that going through that and having your family against you.
Yeah.
And your friends.
Because you can't choose family. I was going to say, the type of person you are, though, it seems like you surround yourself with very accepting, kind people because
Sure.
that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Family, you don't get to choose them, unfortunately. But it's great that you're
Yeah.
family.
Because some people, they just like, oh, so you're kicked out of your place now. And you're like, that happens. And I couldn't imagine because it's so hard.
Can you pull
anyway.
that thing down one more time? Sorry.
Yes. Am I here? Excellent. Okay. So sorry. Yeah. So I just felt lucky,
Wow. I think the next time that I talked to you, the interactions that you had with strangers while working at Walmart seemed to be like kind of strenuous.
Yeah. That's a hard position to be in. Like any job where you're like in public all day and you have to keep bringing in, like cycling in new people over and over again. And they're all like seeing you for the first time or interacting with you for the first time over and over all day is exhausting.
Yeah.
You don't know, like you get nervous or I got nervous like with every interaction. Like, how's this going to change when I because there was a point where I look a certain way and I sound a different way. So like you get like, hey man, come help me. And then I start talking. They're like, sorry. And then then it gets weird from there. And then, and like, I'm just like, please just, what do you need? I just want you to go. Just tell me the thing you need and I'll get you out of here. Yeah. But it's just over and over again.
Did the process go pretty quick? Like from
I
the
speed ran that.
first appointment to all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like,
because you did you travel for one of the?
I went to New York. I went to Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that a lot of the stuff wasn't offered in Minnesota. Like, was it the throat?
Yeah, that was in New York.
That was in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was in Arizona?
That was the big shebang.
Oh,
Finish the basement.
Okay. Was it at like a Mayo clinic down there?
Like just a facility or?
Yeah, it's in Scottsdale.
Okay.
It's,
Dude.
Sorry.
You're not appreciating.
that was good. I was
fucking
like,
awesome.
but my mind was focused.
I appreciate it. I needed that.
That was a good
'cause
joke.
I love that. I came up with that.
Raise the property value.
Yeah, that was the big one. And they did some like I got a big scar on my forehead too.
Oh, really?
They like peeled my face off and
Whoa! Wait,
took like
whoa!
a grinder to my head.
What?
I did more than one thing.
Whoa,
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Describe the.
Do
so
you-
you went full
well,
Nicolas Cage.
Do you feel comfortable talking about all of the things you had done?
I don't
Okay.
care. No, it's
Okay.
fine.
Let's
I'm
start from the top. So they,
literally
Yeah.
yeah, literally, like,
Yeah, so like I had the widow's peak. Ever
Okay.
since I was like a teenager, kind of
Okay.
creeped back on me.
Sure.
More than that, unfortunately.
mine's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it. So they actually cut like all the way up, like here, all the way down to my ears.
Wow.
And like, cause that's the only way. I don't know how it works.
Oh.
And then they pull it forward.
Wow.
Yeah. And then,
Wow.
and then while they were in there, they took the thing to my brow bone or whatever, which wasn't really necessary, but
What? That's for what?
like, cause some people have like a protruding brow bone that they don't like. It's
Okay.
just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just grind it down.
I guess is that a male thing? Like, do we look
It's
more
not.
Neanderthal?
It's not. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's
There's-
preference.
It's
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was purely cosmetic.
Wow.
I was like,
They're
I
already
thought
in
I'd go
there, so
for
they're
it.
like, well,
Yeah.
let's do this.
that's seriously.
What
yeah.
is that pain like the next day?
Fine, because I'm on Dilaudid. I started the movie Creed like 8 times and made it not through the credits that day. But no, it hurt. Like after that, once
Yeah,
once
once
the
painkillers.
pain got in
Yeah.
there, and then they had to take all these stitches out and stuff. It was gnarly.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is, I've never heard of that.
I had a catheter. I don't know if anyone's ever had one of those.
Yeah, I had one.
before.
And
Have
they
you?
burn like a bitch.
Wow.
Taking that, like the removal,
That's what burned.
absolute nightmare.
God. Okay. So you do that.
I
What's
wouldn't
that
even.
procedure
I wouldn't even
called?
say. I wouldn't even say that's the craziest one. This is the craziest one.
The throat. Yeah.
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 I've just never heard of it.
No,
That's why I was like blown away.
No, for sure. That one was more common.
Oh.
The,
So
the
the
throat
throat-
one is not more common.
It's not.
No.
So what did
Okay.
they do?
It's 3 procedures. They call it the triple. It's like a fast food item. It's a shave. That one's pretty basic. A lot of people do the shave.
Okay.
'cause of
Oh, for the
'Cause
Adam's
the
apple.
Adam's-
Correct.
okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Eve's apple. Sorry. And then they do what's called a web glottoplasty and a cricothyroid approximation. So they move like something up, like which changes like the tuning,
Oh, wow.
and then they close up something else to make it more narrow, and like they stitch it together so then it heals that way.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So the crico has a semi-permanent suture, which I just got rid of. Like one of them just worked its way out in March.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because you got sick.
I got sick. I thought I had COVID.
Yeah,
The timing
that's right.
was terrible because I had the sore throat and it was giving me a headache. So I quarantined and then I hacked up a suture. I felt like a cat.
Ow.
It actually happened the year before too.
Wow.
I thought I was abducted by aliens. It's like, this is the probe. This is it.
You're
all
like
real.
Neo in the Matrix.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was gnarly.
Wow.
So I couldn't talk for a month.
Wow.
Yeah, you know how much that's not fun.
Not
It's
fun.
incredibly not. You know how
I don't
late-
like talking, so
Dude, a whole month?
Yeah, you know your comedic timing on the iPads, like speak and say, it's not good.
Dude.
I'm just like typing away, like I got this paragraph. Conversation is absolutely not there anymore, and then just delete. Didn't have anything to say.
Wow. Wild. Okay. Next procedure.
Boobies. We went backwards. That was number one.
That was
Oh,
number
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah, it was just easiest.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You can do it in Minnesota. Yeah.
Did you do the armpit or the?
I had no choice. Under boobs.
Mm,
They wouldn't do anything else.
really?
Yeah, nipples were too small.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah, I see.
yeah, bummer.
Well, now everyone knows you have tiny nipples. So.
No, they got bigger. When I switched to injections, they got bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was on a patch because they were worried about clotting. So
'Cause
I
of your
couldn't take
clots.
pills, hormone
Oh.
pills. Yeah.
Because female.
Did you have
Yep.
to do that drain thing?
Did you have a drain when
No,
after you got your
no,
breast
no, no,
implant?
no. It was cool though. They actually put in stretchers. I don't know if that's the technical term, but they put in these things to stretch my skin out because they were
Oh.
concerned I didn't have enough. I was so damn flat. They were like, "You don't got enough skin for this. You gotta stretch that out." So they put those in, and then they could add to it without doing surgery and stretch the skin out more.
Wow.
Yeah, like they did that to people's foreheads to grow an ear or whatever. They did that there. And I went into this visit to get them topped up. And the doctor's like, "Hey, I got 2 students. Do you mind if they're in the room?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's fine." Because I'm all about the learning. Like,
Yeah.
they got to learn. Come on in. This is going to be so weird. And he gets a magnet on my nipple and finds the dock or whatever. And he has this big syringe with fluid and he hooks it up and then he hands it to the student to plunge her in. And he's like, "Man, this is really difficult." And I'm literally you can watch it grow.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's as it fills with fluid. Yeah, it's bizarre. Wow. I remember if I did shake my chest, you could hear it sloshing.
So it's just fluid in there?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was a fun trick. It was like you drank a lot of water.
Yeah. I was thinking that. Yeah.
It's just like that. And then 2 months later, I went in for the real deal, the gummy bears. The gummy bears. That's what they call them.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Because you can if they break, they're like gummy bears. They don't leak.
Oh, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it dark outside?
I don't know.
It is. So you go through this transformation. At what point did you feel like you'd finally arrived at where you wanted to be?
After that Arizona trip, I'd
Okay.
say, yeah. The only thing I've thought about since is just basic cosmetic stuff that anyone would want.
Like what?
Oh, I busted my nose when I was a kid, and I've always wanted to fix it.
Ah.
So I think it messed up I think it's deviated.
The septum.
Because if I could breathe in,
You
you
get the
get,
whistle.
it's one nostril closes and the other doesn't.
Making me breathe now.
Yeah, everyone's trying it out. Does my nose do that? Am I broken? Yeah. But you can kind of see this little lump. Oddly enough, this happened on a trampoline.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. We were doing wrestling. We were doing some late 90s backyard wrestling, which was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my wrestling origin story. It was in the old backyard. 2 of my friends we were doing a battle royal. So we're all in there, all these little teenagers. And as 2 of my friends are doing a suplex maneuver, I get thrown into the center of the trampoline.
Ew.
And the person getting suplexed, their ankle hit me directly in the nose and just
shit.
erupted in blood.
Wow.
And I just remember it being crunchy. I went to touch it and it was crunchy. It made crunchy noises. Yeah, it was very gross. And I was scared of getting in trouble, so I just kept it to myself. So yeah, it never healed, I think, right?
You kept it to yourself?
Yeah. And I didn't get black eyes or anything. I looked fine. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. So unless I imagine the crunchies, but it sounded crunchy. And
I could
you
see
can
that.
see a physical dent in it.
Wow.
Afterwards, yeah. So I think as I grew, if it's if it's
Maybe
bad, it
cartilage
gets worse or something. I feel like when your nose grows after you because I was like 13.
Oh, okay.
So I grew into my weird nose.
Wow.
So that's the only thing I've thought about is fixing my nose. But after the Arizona trip, like that was it. Like I felt like I had accomplished everything that I wanted to.
That's awesome.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Unbelievably. This is how lucky I was. I was blessed with a good credit score going into everything. Like used my my privilege going in. I went to a bank and convinced this guy to give me a $14,000 line of credit.
Wow.
And I got a couple credit cards and I maxed them all out.
Whoa.
The big one though, the Arizona one, I managed to find a Blue Cross plan that would get me into the appointment and get it done.
Okay.
Like they weren't going to cover the full cost, but it didn't matter. Like they would get charged because they would pay part of it. So they would get charged fully. I would be able to get it done, but I wouldn't have to prepay the entire thing.
Oh, interesting.
So I got this plan. It's like $400 a month. I'm paying this plan. And I get this call in like July or August. And they're like, hey, end of the year, canceling that plan. They're canceling all like single plans. If you're like like I guess they're keeping families or something. And I'm like, if I lose this plan, I just dumped all this money in it for no reason. So I'm like frantically calling like somewhere that I could go that would cover it. It was in Arizona and I'd heard about them before. And usually you have to wait like 2 years. Like there's 3-year waiting lists for these doctors, but they had just taken on like an apprentice.
Oh.
So they were open. Like they just started taking appointment surgery dates. And I think people were wary, so they weren't like filling up all that fast. And I was just like, yes, sign me up. I need to get in before the end of the year. Can you do that? They said, yeah, December 16th.
Wow.
So like literally.
Chris.
What?
Hello?
Hello, where'd you go? Was with her playing guitar.
But it doesn't good. This is Grandpa's guitar.
You don't like my guitar?
It's a death clock joke.
Oh, it's Grandpa's guitar.
Yeah. What are those wooden things, chairs?
Okay, well, anybody who is, you can just start playing. Anybody who is feeling either scared about moving forward in their journey to finding who they are, like we've said on previous podcasts, crisis lines are not just for suicide.
No, it's any type of thing that you deem a crisis.
Absolutely. So don't be afraid. I know that it's scary, and Mara gave us a story that was wonderfully lucky, and we're glad that she had that experience. But we're here too. If you guys feel you want to message us and just want somebody positive to be in your corner, we're here for that. This is just so beautiful. You're doing a great job.
Name that chord progression.
1995. Eagles.
No.
Oh, Bonnie Ray.
Bon Jovi.
Collective Soul.
No.
The World I Know.
Ah.
That's all I got.
Well, can you slap some AC/DC or something?
That's all the slapping I can do.
Anything else? Any advice that you have for people, like as far as whether it be vegan journey or transition journey
Or life.
Don't scoff at like therapy. Like it seems gatekeepy, and it kind of is, but it's also kind of nice. And I know it sucks because it costs money, and America. But that was valuable, even outside of transition stuff. I talked about a lot of stuff outside, like just about childhood and stuff, and stuff that explained a lot, like about my anxiety and things like that. So I'd say if you go down to a therapist for gender issues and you're just trying to go down the path, like, you can go into other stuff, and it's actually really valuable. Other than that, it's hard to say. My advice is game the system if you can, because at the end there, I was close to $200,000 in debt.
Wow.
And I filed bankruptcy, which you're allowed to do, and it kills your credit, but they can't repossess your gummy bears. Yet. I'm scared that
You can't have my gummy bears.
can't have them back.
Holy shit. Well,
We gotta end on that. That's funny. That's gonna be the title of it.
yeah, normally we end with the quack quack thing, but that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I like
Right
that.
on.
Good job, everybody.